So my name's Loran Dunn, and like you just heard, I'm a producer. I run an independent production company in Manchester called Delible Film, and we're listed as one of the top 50 most creative companies in the country. We've played at festivals all over the world. And if you don't know what a producer does, a producer is kind of the person that makes things happen, that kind of finds projects they really believe in and goes out there and makes them happen, basically. So we believe really strongly in new talent and finding unheard stories, and we work really closely and collaboratively with our writers and directors to help them develop their ideas into really authored pieces of work. So we've just finished our first feature, which is called Deal with the Universe, which is going to be out on the festivals later this year, as well as a new series on Sky called Short Flicks, which has been written and directed entirely by new and underrepresented talent. So I'm really excited to be here at the BFI Future Film Festival. It's a festival that's quite close to my heart, actually. It's 10 years since my first short film played here. And I came here at a really tough time in my life, actually. I was 19 and I'd just lost my mum. I had to sell my family home and I was effectively on my own. And coming here made me really realise that telling stories was what I wanted to do, and that it was such a powerful way to connect with people, and kind of gave me a platform to say something that I couldn't say with words. So I think this festival really captures people at an interesting time in their career, and you might be thinking about going to study filmmaking at university, or you might be thinking about how to break into the industry after graduating, or you might be thinking, how did I end up filing receipts in the production office when all I wanted to do was be a producer? So I've kind of done all of those things, which is why I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about the power of being deluded. So when I graduated, I was offered a job in the production office, which was great because I really wanted to be a producer and find scripts and develop them and get them made and have a voice. But it took me about 5 years to realise that my job in the production office was mostly, if not entirely, going to be about filing receipts. And that was never going to make me a producer. And in fact, the only thing that could really make me a producer was just going out there and producing. Now don't get me wrong, it wasn't all midnight calls from crew about noisy air conditioning units in their hotel rooms, or being made to count how many envelopes were left in the store cupboard after everybody had already left hours ago, or even picking out dead pigeons from squashed seats in derelict old theatres. I did learn loads too. I worked on big BBC dramas and indie features and high-end music promos, and all of that was really invaluable to what I do now, and it was a massive learning experience to kind of see the inner workings of the film industry. But it was so far removed from the dream I'd had when I set out about telling stories, and I really wanted to get back to doing that. It is also worth mentioning at this time that I hadn't stopped making films with my friends during all of this, but I wasn't really invested in the right way, and I made so many films, and to be honest, I couldn't work out why they were all shit. They were all really terrible, and I didn't understand why. And I think it's because what I had missed out was the creative part of producing, something that I had always inherently done, that finding the story and developing it, but working in production had sort of knocked that out of me because I felt that everything could be fixed by shooting on the Alexa, and I was wrong, basically. So after a particularly horrible job, it was the noisy air conditioning one, actually, I made a New Year's resolution, and I decided that I was going to be more deluded, because I looked around me and I saw that it was kind of only the really crazy, delusional people who really believed it was going to happen that it actually happened for. So I saved some money and I gave myself a year to give it a go, and I just thought, I'm just going to go for it, and I'm going to take the risk, and I'm going to be delusional and believe it might happen and see what happens. And in that year, I threw everything I had at it. I made short films, notably The Pig Child, which BFI helped me make. I went to festivals, I met with writers and directors, I read and I watched so much, and I began to find my voice as a producer and what it was that I wanted to say. And that was 4 years ago now. And now I have my own office, I have staff, I have a slate full of features, and I've just been listed as a Screen Daily Star of Tomorrow. And when I think about it, it's all kind of crazy, really, because I don't feel all that different from when I stood here 10 years ago. So the reason I'm telling you this is that I think it can be really easy to look at other people and see their talent and think, yeah, they've got it. But to look at yourself and recognise your own talent is sometimes impossibly hard. And backing yourself is one of the hardest things you can do. Having the confidence to invest in yourself and believe in yourself. I spent literally years believing I wasn't ready or good enough. And especially in an industry where you're going to get knocked down so much along the way. You're going to hear it's never going to happen. You're going to hear, when are you going to get a proper job? You're going to hear the world telling you to give up more than you're going to hear it telling you to keep going. I think, one of my first pitches, when I was pitching for money for a film, I described the film we were making as being like Black Swan. And the investor turned around and said to me, yeah, but you're not Darren Aronofsky though. And to be fair, she wasn't wrong. And it wasn't a very good film. But hearing those kind of things can really send you under when you're still building your confidence. You think, God, am I terrible? And while all your friends around you are getting salaries and lanyards with their little staff cards, and you're still living off beans on toast, it can be really hard to keep the faith. I think if you can get back up and you can have clarity of vision, there's no reason at all why you can't make it. Someone once told me that success in this industry is being the last man standing. And I think there's a lot of truth in that, actually. Resilience is key. And again, you might be sitting here thinking, yeah, that sounds great, but I can't do that, and I'm not good enough. Or you're waiting for somebody to say, yes, now you're ready. So I'm going to say it. I'm going to say, go for it. Because you know what, you might never be ready, but you should just go for it anyway. And know that this is a journey. And know that you might fail on that journey, and that's okay. Because embrace failure. Failure can be creative, and failure can drive you. So back yourself and be your own champion, because you are absolutely the person who can make this happen. And take comfort as well in the fact that things are changing. There has been a filmmaking revolution. You don't have to be connected. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to have the latest gear. It's no longer an exclusive club. The doors are wide open and it's yours for the taking. You can go out there, shoot something on your phone, upload it to the internet, and you've got an audience there ready and waiting. Look, I'm totally self-taught and unconnected. I grew up in a village in the middle of nowhere in the West Country, and I used to make films with my friends on my DV cam. We used to upload it to MySpace. I'm not from a rich background. I've been making films for about 5 years before I'd even heard of a call sheet. It's not about training, it's about voice, and it's about having something to say and a story to tell. And I think if you have those things, it will transcend everything else. And I'd like to think that my generation's played a big part in levelling the playing field and making filmmaking collaborative again. But we need more. We need more diverse voices. We need more people prepared to call out injustices. We need more people to think of new ways of doing things. So be the voice of your generation. Make noise. Get out there. Be disruptive. Be ambitious. Be brave. Because you are the new talent. And we will all benefit from the more diverse stories you have to offer. Cinema is such an important and powerful tool for social change, and it can be a passport to another world and a different culture and a new perspective. And we need new voices and new talent to take us to those places. So get motivated, get obsessed. Because what I can tell you now is that if you're prepared to work hard, to work harder than anyone else, you will make it. And I think what's so incredible about a festival like this is that just by being here, you're already part of a community. A movement. You are the change. And the friendships you make here may go on to change the filmmaking world forever. So look, if you take one thing away from today, it should be about the power of being more deluded.